today is just to show you that it's a diverse group, that is the quality thing we need. You don't just need everybody to be doing the same thing, and that is how the world works. Everybody, we are in different field, we are in different niche, but a common thing to all of us is that we are trying to identify what people need and where the world is heading. So even in the technical field, in software engineering, in all our career, we're trying to figure out people's needs. So as a software engineer, you are trying to build product that people will use. You're trying to design systems that will scale, that will improve people's experience, and they will improve businesses. Maybe build something that will help Mr. Babatunde to be able to ease his campaign, help him reach more audience and things like that. So you need as an entry-level software engineer. Ordinarily, everything, the buzzword everywhere right now is, AI, ChatGPT, and everything. Everybody's shouting AI. So if you go online and you just type to ChatGPT, what skills do I need as a software engineer? It's going to give you a list of things. If you tell it to list 5 for you, it's going to list it for you. So tell you that you need to know 1 or 2 programming language. You need to have knowledge of databases. You need to have knowledge maybe of product. You need to have good communication skills. So I understand those things are everywhere, and I'll be touching a part that has really shaped me as a software engineer. And I studied geography in the undergraduates, and coming into software engineering, I know people come from different backgrounds, but mine has been a bit different. When I started off, I was doing data analysis, and it was all about using Excel, SPSS, and Python. So my first job was just with this very small engineering journey until I transitioned. This is my second company working with Dr. Will. So I'm going to highlight 4 basic things you need to. They are not technical skills. That is, I just want you to have that in mind. That the skills you really need, because I know everywhere now you're seeing tech layoffs, Amazon, Google, and everything. That can be scary sometimes looking at reading about those things. So the skills you need right now are not 100% the technical skills. For me, I believe technical skills are just like 50%, which I believe people are, we know them, and you need to pay attention, give time to learn all those things. So the first one is networking. I was working with a very small company, right? That's in Abuja when I initially started, and I was looking for a bigger opportunity, a company where we work with larger team, more structured environment. My role is defined and all those things. So my eyes was on either Paystack or Flutterwave or InterSwitch, three places. So I was looking at the best way to get in. So I just started reaching out to people on LinkedIn, networking with people, speaking with people, and all that. So there was a particular person I spoke with, and he told me that there's an hackathon coming up by Flutterwave. So I joined the hackathon. I registered like 2 days to the deadline. So I joined the hackathon. It was a 2-week hackathon. Then during the hackathon, we had 20 teams divided into 4 groups. So you have a product designer, you have a back-end engineer, a front-end engineer, and a product manager. So on my team, I was the back-end engineer, and there's another front-end engineer and a product designer and product manager. But 2 days into the hackathon, someone on my team, the front-end guy, had to leave. So I took up the role. So I performed the role of a full-stack engineer. And, I was able to, speak and interact more with the team with that, because nothing like front-end or back-end during the hackathon. I was the one doing everything. So we were able to deliver, and the team came 5th, actually. We came 5th. And that was when I started reaching out to the people that hosted the hackathon. That, I did full stack and all those things. So reaching out to them and letting them know what I did was what did the game changer. So I kept, keep up the relationship on LinkedIn. I kept reaching out to them, sometimes check on them, see what they are doing, and all those things. So networking was actually what changed it. So when there was a role later in December 2021, and I applied. So I reached out to one of the guys that anchored the hackathon, and I told him that I applied for this role. Wow. It was really impressed that I applied again. So he was able to put in word for me. So that lets you know that when there is opening anywhere within a company, the first thing recruiters will do is to ask the people on the team that who do you think can join your team? So they are the ones that are working on the products. They are the ones that know what works. So if you are very good with networking, if you put yourself out there and you network with people maybe on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on IG, it will go a long way for you. Personally, I don't see all my social media as places where I catch random crews. No. I see them as places where I can sell myself, network people, interact with people in the community, because that's will go a long way for you. Your There's a saying that your network is your net worth. So if you know people, it will really help you in the industry. So identify what you want to do. Maybe you want to go into cloud engineering, you want to go into front end, you want to go into back end, technical writing, you want to software engineering, engineering totally, anything in that field. So try and reach out to people in that field. And this is a common thing that people say, but you have to put it in your day-to-day activity. Like personally right now, every day, it is a must for me to connect with one or two people. Like it's like a routine for me. I don't joke with it because I know the benefits, the return on investment over time. So the second thing I'm going to talk about is that you need to put your skills into open source or volunteering. Um, Currently, I work with an organization, an NGO. I serve as a volunteer that will map flood risk in Nigeria. And one of the beautiful ways that this has helped me is because even right here, I still do a little bit of software engineering. Sometimes when we need to build app to collect data on the field, or we need to do some analysis to map flood across Nigeria. Actually, the entire flood that happened in last year, we identified some areas, some areas in Kogi, some areas in the southeast, and some areas in the north that you don't even hear about, but it gets flooded there. So I put this tool to use, like my skills there, and they've helped me. Like everything I'm saying revolves around you networking, joining open source, and volunteering. Those things are very crucial to your success as a software engineer. Just imagine that about over 50,000 people or even more now has been laid off from the tech industry. Do you see yourself having a very fair chance of competing with someone that was laid off from Google? Like, do you think, like, I'm not limiting our capabilities, but these people have experience and they have they have the profile, they've worked on production-based infrastructures, they have the leverage. So what can count for you is your network. So consider networking with people, consider networking with professional as day-to-day activity. Like if you need to hit 3 times in a day, ensure that you network at least once a day. Like it is very important. It is very important. So it's like bread and butter. Like So that was what one of my mentors told me, that networking is like bread and butter of getting things done in the tech industry. I currently write for 3 blogs. That is Free Code Camp, Log Rocket, and Ambassador Lab. And I can tell you that all these things didn't come from me actively typing, I want to apply for this. No. It was based on people I know, my network, and we started to go, you do this, so I have interest in that. No, I speak about I have interest in technical writing. Then from there, they shared resources with me. I started learning. Then, okay, this is what my progress is. Showing them my progress and what I've been doing. And when it was time, okay, I'm going to speak with this person. So, people being able to speak on your behalf, even when you are not there behind the closed door, that is what networking can do for you. And when you do open source, when you volunteer, and when you participate in community development, all those things, it helps create an impression. Not an impression, it helps create the feel, or like the view that someone that can get things done, even when you are not being paid, will definitely deliver more when you are being paid for it.
Yeah,
so let's say every now and then,
I won't take this
you just go, you do NPM install, install packages, use open source tools to build your products. You can even build a product by using an entirely open source, and you get paid maybe hundreds of thousands or even millions of naira. And these are people's efforts. Some people are putting those things there for you to use them for free. So you being able to contribute back to the community is huge. I'm telling you, I have had series of interviews, like a lot of interviews. And at the end of every interview, I ask them, especially when I discover that the person interviewing me is people that are experienced in the field, maybe like 15, 20 years. And they usually talk about that they respect people in the open source community. And the open source again is another avenue for you to network. See the chain now. You are keen on networking. You are now into open source and volunteering. So that is an avenue for you to network again. So all those things come back to help you and to help you build a strong career. I think one of the things most people see software engineers is that maybe the things we see in movie, one guy or one lady just putting on hoodie somewhere in the dark room and typing all day long. No, you can't really scale without knowing people within the industry. Yeah, like it is very important. Reach out to people and network. And like I said, if you check online, I'm going to send some links about where you can find open source project and how to join them. And of course, I know that it can be really difficult for beginners to just join open source project and start contributing. You don't need to join open source project and start doing big things, even if it is working on the documentation, writing the readme, making it better, making it more understandable, translations and those things like that. So those things might be little to you, but it is big. There was a time I wanted to work on a project, and I was to use create a list of local government and states in Nigeria, local government, states and world. And on top of my head, like I have to go to probably INEC or National Population Commission's website, create a JSON file, they now make it something I can use. But just going to GitHub, I discovered that someone has already done it and put it up there. Like I was super impressed. At that point, it was a project, and that little change, that little that I can just call this and use it easily, like it helped me achieve each success within a short period of time. So you contributing to open source and using that as an avenue to network is really big. And the third thing I'm going to mention about what you really need is putting yourself out there. You see, there's a saying I know and I adhere to very well, is that even bad markets, you need someone to tell you that this is bad market before you know that it is bad market. So if you are good market, you need to put yourself out there. And I used to tell my friends, I used to tell people that I work with that if Apple, if Dolce and Gabbana, if Adidas, if FIFA, if those people are still doing adverts, who are you? That you are not advertising yourself. Like you need to blow your trumpet. Like you need to carry it on your head and blow it. Like you don't need to feel I'm shy, I'm an introvert. It doesn't pay. When you get up, be an introvert. But at the initial stage, you have to put yourself out there, let people see, because nobody has the time to be searching for you, be digging for. There's people they see. So it's just like you going to Google now, and you are trying to get, you're trying to buy something. Immediately you search for something, or you don't really go beyond first page. So it is people that now see you, your visibility counts. So maybe you are a front-end engineer, and you build beautiful interfaces. You begin to put your work on LinkedIn, you put your work on Twitter, you put your work sometimes on people that are on TikTok, you put it on Twitter, you put it on Instagram. You'll be creating a sensing, like an image into people's head, that anytime they come across something that's relating to that, you come to their brain. And that is what you want to do. Like everybody I have on WhatsApp, everybody I have probably on my LinkedIn knows me for maybe 2 or 3 things. And that is what you want to do for yourself. You should be known for something. Like you should be known for something. If you are not known for anything, that is very difficult. I used to tell people that when you mention someone's name and you cannot tag them to 1 or 2 things, it is very dangerous. It's very dangerous, because no matter how bad something is, you will be able to attach it to something that is bad. So if you are good, let people, when you mention your name, you remember them for something. If you say Michael Jordan, I know those people are big up there. But I know that in your mind, you know a few people that when you mention their name, you can think of something about them. So you want to create that for people. You want to ensure that you're out there. And that is what you do. When you're talking about Apple will tell you about they are trying to build an ecosystem, not just devices. That you can have your Apple phone, iPhone, you can have your MacBook, you can have your watch, you can have everything together. You can create an ecosystem for you. And you don't need to go beyond the Apple space even to get your applications up and running. So that shows you that you putting yourself out there and be known for something is very important. Apple is known for security, talking about like your your phone is secure, your devices are secure. So try to put yourself out there. Talking about the first thing is that you have to network, and everything is in chain, and you can't really do one and leave the other. Because if you are networking with people and people, when they connect, for instance, let me use LinkedIn. When I connect with someone, I check their profile, I check some of the things they've done, I check some of their posts, I check. So that gives me an impression of what they are doing. So if everything is just dry, nothing there, it's sort of like, is this person really serious of what they are doing? So you have to put yourself out there. And like I said, even bad markets needs to be advertised as bad market. If there's something that the government don't want people to do, they will tell you. And that shows you that you have to put yourself out there. So the three things, number one is networking, number two is open source and volunteering in the space, and number three is